All right, so today I'm down here in Progreso. I've never been on this side of the beach, on the other side of this pier. This is my first time. Well, I've been further up, but I hadn't been in this section here. And man, they got quite a bit of stuff out here. Basketball courts for kids. This is Easter weekend. This is the Saturday before Easter Sunday. And man, that place is very nice. I can tell that this side is significantly less crowded than the other side because it can get pretty packed full of people. And but this side has a lot more space. And as you can see, we got some pretty sand, some pretty water here, and it looks all good. You got folks down further here doing some paragliding. I'm sure you can see that in the background. Really, really, really nice. This is all, I can say it's only about 30 minutes away from Merida. So this is what you got access to when you decide to make the move out here. Pretty beaches. I'm gonna walk back because they're on the, I guess this is a Malecone up here. I guess I'm assuming they're gonna extend it from the one they built on the other side of the pier and bring it all the way down this side. So I'm gonna get back up there and let y'all see a little bit of what I saw. So as you can see, they got plenty of benches out here to sit down on. They even got a skateboard park right over there. See them over there skateboarding. This is all on the beach. This is Progreso. They got volleyball nets over there. Yeah, you can't. Hopefully y'all can see them folks over there doing their thing on the skateboard. Got some carousel rides. And it looks like they got plenty of lights over there, so it looks like it lights up at nighttime too. So that's pretty nice. Let me hop back. I'm gonna go back down on this end here. Well, they got some tents up. I guess perhaps they sell stuff, or maybe that's for special activities and events. Y'all missing out. In Merida, yeah, you got to deal with the heat. But with perks like this at the beach, 30 minutes away, so you're not so close and you're not so far away. And there's like 6, possibly 8 to 10 other beach towns side by side to Progreso. If I just continue further up the road driving, there's, like I say, there's several beach towns to the left and to the right where there's going to be a lot less people the further away you go from Progreso. So like I say, this side is not nearly as crowded. I might cross over there on the other side of the pier, drive down, just to let you see how much more busier that other side is. It ain't no joke. So these are some vendors out here selling stuff on this side. You got a spot if you want to come sit down, get some shade, get something to eat. There's quite a few of them up over here. Order your food and just come back and sit down under one of these benches. Here's somebody selling some natural herb stuff. And like I say, this side over here is off to the, sometimes when you come to Progreso, well, not sometimes, but whenever you come to Progreso, you'll generally see this Ferris wheel. It's on the other side of that Ferris wheel is where I'm at right now. So what are y'all waiting for? I'm gonna drive through the town. I'm gonna go up a little bit in the car. I'll let y'all see what's further up the road. I think we might pass through some neighborhoods and stuff like that. Yeah, so some rides up there. It's a little hot today, so I ain't gonna walk down that far. So Progreso has different neighborhoods, so I'm way up from the typical Progreso area. They have their own colonia, the neighborhood. I'm assuming we're still in Progreso, just in a different part. I'm assuming. So if my assumption is incorrect, somebody please correct me. But it's pretty nice down here on this strip. The beach is literally one block just behind these houses. Maybe not even a full block, about 50 meters behind the houses on the right. The beach is right there. I'm gonna ride on up a little bit, see what's up further ahead. But as you can see, it's very, very quiet. Let me see if you can see down the road when I get to a turn on the right. Like I say, the beach is literally to the right. Here comes the stop sign right here. Literally about 20 meters in front of that white truck, silver truck, there is the beach. You might be able to see it in the clip. Many of the houses that I see a bunch of for rent signs. Most of them are for the weekend only or for rent by the week. But if you're looking to get further away from all the people in the crowd, because it can get real busy. So what's keeping y'all back from making this move? Write it down in the comments. What's holding you back? Here's a place right here. Yeah, for rent, for the week, and for the month, or for the year. All right. Let me swing back around and grab that. So I promised my VIP members exclusive content, so this will be one of them. If you are not a VIP member for Move Abroad and Thrive, I'd encourage you to sign up. I put exclusive content, so like for this is a spot that's one block away from the beach, very quiet side of town. Getting the phone number here, there it is, but I'm gonna blur it out, and the unblurred version will be inside of the members only area. So there you go. So this particular property can be rented for the week, by the month, or by the year. I will also reach out to them to see what the prices are. Look brand spanking new, because I don't see any furniture in there. So yeah. So check that out. moveabroadandthrive.com/VIP. You know, I'm gonna keep filming. I'm gonna keep showing you this area. I'm gonna continue to drive down the road. But as a member, we have monthly interviews, and our members can talk to people directly, the interviewee, and ask them questions about whatever. Some of the folks are previous guests we've interviewed. Some of the folks are local professionals, like local attorneys, giving advice. And, you know, for those of you who have questions, you'll be able to ask those attorneys questions. And all of that stuff is recorded and posted in the members only area as well. There's a section in there called Ask Cartes. And in that section, you can ask questions directly and I will answer them. Look at this, Resort Marina. What is this? I don't know if I can go down now. So check that out and become a member. Also have a lifetime member option there where you get a free telephone consultation. We'll get on the phone and talk about whatever you like. Let's see. Yeah, I've never been down this side. I guess I can go this way. I don't know. Let me go this way. This might be the fishing pier where we go fishing at and connect on that side of town. Let me ride up some more. But yeah, write down in the comments what's keeping you back. What's the hold up? I know some folks are planning, got a couple of more years of work before they can retire or collect retirement and all that stuff. So I get it. But for those of y'all that are just kind of on the fence, my advice is, like always, come check it out. They're not gonna, a plane ticket, a few $100s to get on the plane, and a few hours of your time, you can come check it out and see it for yourself. You don't just sit and watch and wonder if it'll work. Come see. You don't have to stay for 6 months. Come stay for a week. Come for a weekend. Come check it out. You know what I mean? You don't got nothing to lose. And see, right now I'm still exploring new places and new things. I get in my little car. You can rent a car. You get in the car and drive. GPS ain't gonna get you lost. Some stuff you just gotta come check it out for yourself. Don't wait. Do not wait. Go check it out. So right now, like I said, I don't know where the heck I'm going, but I'm going. And the only way I'll learn this place is by doing what I'm doing now. Exploring. Checking things out for myself. I'm not waiting around for anybody to take me anywhere. I'm coming. And I think I'm learning that this is a dead end road. Yeah, ain't nothing down here. Let me pause for a second and I'll come right back. Alright, so this part, of course, we're driving through is not the most appealing part of town. There is a part of Progreso where it's very poverty stricken, and this is not the worst of it. So oftentimes when you see those vendors out there on the street selling stuff, or by the beach selling stuff, oftentimes this is who you're supporting and helping. So, just something to be mindful of. Like I say, it's a great place, very safe, and very friendly people. Nobody's gonna bother you. Like I say, this is just one aspect, one side of town. Well, a side of town. But like I say, this particular spot is not so bad. But there are some areas where you can see it clearly. You got options, folks. You got some options. Like I said, we've been here for about 3 years now, come June, in Merida. And like I said earlier in previous videos, still love it. And the girls, they'll be finishing up school soon. They'll be young adults making plans for their own life. And we don't need a house as big as we got now, and so like I said, we're still in our planning stages of what we're going to build, how we're going to build it, taking into the consideration, of course, that they ain't going to be there much longer. Even if they hang around for a couple of years, we don't have to have a house as big as we got. I was telling my wife yesterday, I'm like, man, we spend more time in our room watching television. Oftentimes the kids are coming there and watch TV with us. Um, I'd rather spend the money on a larger bedroom where I could get our, right now we got a king size bed, continue to put a king size bed in there, a space large enough to put a little TV, a nice sizable TV and a sofa, and just make it comfortable. When we buy or build, say, a 3-bedroom house or something like that, all on one level. I don't want no 2 levels. I don't want no stairs. Simple. So a larger bedroom, not so big of a living room, not so big of a dining room, but a nice kitchen and whatnot. Let me go this way. Larger kitchen, nicer, not necessarily large, but laid out the way we want it. I do like to cook when I do cook. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up out of here, out of Progreso. Let me, before I do that, let me try something. Let me put this camera down, coming up on the popos. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, don't need so much space, and that way we can afford to get what we want easily without spending all this extra money getting stuff that we don't need, like a 2-level home. With massive amounts of space. Don't need it. This thing making me do a U-turn. Okay, I'm looking at the GPS. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up out of here. I'm gonna go head back into Merida. There's too many people down there in terms of traffic, and I can't hold my camera and simultaneously record just due to the sheer number of folks walking out and about. Here's some of that poverty. People actually live in that. They live in there. It's kind of hard to believe, but these are actually houses. They don't have real doors, no real roof, all open space. Anything can come in there. A lot of these folks don't have ain't no air conditioning. You know what I'm saying? There ain't none. 20 meters, all right, so this is taking me down, and this is what you got. I didn't want to have the camera so much in their face. Yeah, like I say, there's some pockets like that where it's can get pretty depressing. But you see folks outside, especially when the weather cools off in the evening time, you'll see folks outside, kids running around, having a good old time. I just saw a big family, look like to be about 15 of them, just sitting inside their driveway, having a good time, celebrating Easter. But folks, no matter where you are, they make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do, make the best of it. They're telling me to turn left. I think today we got up to 102, 104, I believe. I'm not exactly sure. Motorbikes. But let me get back to what I was running my mouth about. Yeah, so don't need as much, so don't need to spend as much. And I'm learning that I can probably build what I want, a one level thing for about 60,000, and kind of get what I want. Maybe 70,000, 75,000 can definitely get what I want. And since you're building it from scratch, you can get quite a bit for that amount, particularly if you're buying in a good area. And as I mentioned in the previous video, if you haven't watched the other video, make sure you watch it. Merida is still our primary. However, since kids are a little older now, it's gonna be, it gonna be adults soon. They talking about going to college and stuff like that, so the opportunity to kind of explore some other areas is a possibility. Other areas within Mexico. I see them being here for the long term, as they figure out what they want to do. So rather be closer. So that way if they need anything or just want to come back home, they can. And but other parts of Mexico, it opens it up. Merida, as I said in the other video, the cost is rising. It's expensive. It's getting more expensive. And of course, there's still other parts of town that you can be in and be comfortable. But the biggest expense you're going to have is a rent payment, or even a mortgage, or outright buying a house. That's going to continue to increase. But for those that are renting and stuff like that, those prices fluctuate. My rent keep going up. As that dollar get weaker, that peso continue to stay strong, super peso. And I know that could change, and that's the issue. It changes and fluctuates. And so if you're on a fixed income and that number keep changing every other month or every 6 months or 5 years from now, that number changes drastically, and that can affect things. So I'm realizing, and again, a lot of this stuff I'm learning, and you hear other people say it, but you don't really pay it any attention until it's your turn. You know what I mean? But having a zero mortgage, no rent, makes things a whole lot comfortable and safer, and frees up a lot of money, frees up a lot of stress. Because when that money that dollar going back and forth, like right now I'm paying almost $1,600 a month. Love my place, but if I had a zero payment, look at that. That peso, that dollar could continue to get weaker and weaker, and that $1,500 payment could turn into $2,000 a month. And of course it could go the other way and it come down to $800 a month. So, when that happens, it's always a welcome change. But I rather have stability than trying to have this little crystal ball where I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen from month to month, day to day, year to year. Zero payment. So if that means spending $75,000, get a house, and be done with payments for the rest of my life, that's what I'd rather do, and have that freed up money to live and enjoy. My rent payment is coming up on the 1st. I'm saying, like I say, $1,500-$1,600, depending on what the dollar's doing. You know what I can do with $1,600? There's a whole lot I can do with $1,500. A whole lot. You know what I mean? I can hop on the plane and go stay in Mexico City for a month and enjoy it. Know what I mean? I'm looking for this traffic. I can enjoy it. I think we're passing through Chicxulub right now. I think. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on anything. Nah, we down still in Central in Merida. Progreso, I'm sorry. Oftentimes they have these police checkpoints when you're coming out of Progreso. So if you're drinking, you better order yourself an Uber, because they will take your butt to jail. A checkpoint usually right here, where I guess they waiting to get a joker tomorrow. Or later on this evening. They doing a lot of construction out here now. Yeah, because like I say, Merida's growing, and Progreso's growing too. If you're looking for that beachfront living, you better get in while you can. Cause it ain't getting cheaper. It just ain't getting cheaper. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. So if you want to live on the beach, fine. And listen, you don't have to stay in Progreso. I can say there's about 10 other beach towns right over here. And they can all get you back into Merida within 40 minutes to an hour. You can be back in Merida. It's not even far. Beautiful beaches with less people on it. So you can get back to Merida. And that's only if you wanted to come back to Merida just to hang out and do things. But many of the people who live in Progreso, they don't come to Merida often. They don't come hang out. They hang out in Progreso. I can say Merida is not a town that's vibing with all kind of nightlife and all that, so it's not much different down in Progreso. But the people who live in those beach towns, they love it. It's generally a little spot they can go to, drink a little bit, dance a little bit, hang out with others, mingle around, do things. There's always something going on at the beach. But people who live on the beach, they have a different type of lifestyle. They more laid back, beach bums, fishing, all kinds of, stuff like that. They ain't trying to party. So there's other small beach towns where you can still get in. I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of folks are doing. A lot of folks, they know they're retiring in 5 years. So what are they doing? They coming down here and they buying stuff. They buying a spot and then they rent it out for the next 4 or 5 years. In other words, let somebody else pay it down, pay it off for them. Drop $75,000. Can you find a house for $75,000 at Progreso? Yes. On the water? No. 4 blocks over? Yes. Close enough. And for people who live on the beach, they'll tell you they don't want to live on the water. The maintenance of a house that's on the water right there on the sand is costly. It is not good. You're constantly cleaning. So if you're thinking about living at the beach, do your research. You don't want to be on the water. You don't want to be that close. Anyway, so you can find some deals in these other beach towns, smaller beach towns, or find you a lot and build it. You have it built yourself. Do what some of these other folks are doing that know they coming. Other folks who thought this thing through a long time ahead, they done bought probably 15 years ago. And knowing they gonna be retired in 15 years and they rent it out for 15 years. One, that gets their money back that they spent to have the house built or get the money back from the house they bought. You know what I mean? So now they getting all their money back, got the 15 years, and now that adds to their nest egg. Go back into their savings. For savings, investments. Again, they're planning. They're thinking this through. I had a lady and that's what made me so mad. A lady that I was talking to 3 years ago. She bought a house 3 years ago. She knew she was gonna be retiring. She moving down here this summer into a new house. Somebody else was paying it off, continued to make payments on it for almost 2 of those 3 years. You know what I mean? That's just more money in her pocket. Got most of her investment back. So think this stuff through. If you need to start a business, if you know you're going to be retiring and you want to have some extra income and you're retiring or making a move 3-4 years from now, start working on the business. Start now. Because whatever business you start, it's going to take a good 2 to 3 years before it really start to get some traction and build momentum and start making consistent money. Time for you to figure out the bugs. You don't want to get down here and try and figure it out and be dropping more money and coins into the business while you on limited income or on fixed income. Start that business now while you're making money, while you got a job, while you have income coming in. Start the business now with the idea that in 3 years it's going to be producing. I was looking at some stats the other day. The fastest growing business is what? Get what? Content creation. Content creators. In other words, people that be hopping on YouTube platforms, people that be sharing content on LinkedIn, people that be sharing content on Facebook, people that blog. That's the fastest segment of small business startups, period. The fastest. You know what I mean? And they're talking about, I can't remember these numbers, man, but in the next 3 years, between now and 2027, I think they said something like, man, I want to say 2 trillion or 200 million. Nah, I don't want to butcher them numbers, but them numbers was insane. But I know they talked about, I don't want to mess the numbers. I'm going to make a separate video on that. I want to get my notes. But we're talking hundreds of millions, and some numbers are talking about trillions, a few $1 trillion in terms of the kind of money that content creators can make. It's insane. The easiest business model you could start. Get your butt in front of a camera get your butt on YouTube. I'm telling you, it don't matter how many people are already talking about the same stuff you talking about. There's a bunch of folks talking about Merida, but guess what? I'm still talking about Merida. I'm nothing unique. I have my own perspective. I have my own spin and personality, and that's all. Any of y'all can get on here and start talking about Merida. In fact, many folks that I worked with have already started talking about Merida. I encourage it. I'm like, man, get out here and talk, share your story, talk about Merida, and get some clients. However, for me, my mindset, it is enough business out there for everybody. I had this abundance mindset. I'm not going to try and keep it all to myself. If you could start a bit, go for it. I'm there to help. But start a YouTube channel. It is a real thing. Don't let anybody make you sound like you're crazy because you want to do YouTube. It's a viable business model. It's real. When I get back, I'm going to show you them numbers in another video. The numbers is crazy. I got a separate site up about this type of stuff, cartezross.com. If you're interested in learning about starting your own business online, go to the website, www.cartezross.com. You know what I mean? I'm expecting to make couple of $100,000 this year, 2024. All because of YouTube videos and content creation I started 3 years ago with this Move Abroad and Thrive. I had enough sense to set up a LLC, to set myself up as a travel company so I can write all the stuff off that I'm doing as it relates to travel. I mean, this is a legitimate, living in the house, paying rental fees, paying rental costs. It's a legitimate expense because of the business model. The name of the company is Move Abroad and Thrive. I'm writing a book called Move Abroad and Thrive. I got a YouTube channel, Move Abroad and Thrive. The business is Move Abroad and Thrive. I got a bank account, Move Abroad and Thrive. You see what I'm saying? Start thinking this through. I'm going to be hosting a live event here in Merida in a couple of months, where if y'all are interested in coming down, I'm going to try to rent a big old house. I'm trying to get one on the beach if I can find one with a stable internet, with 8 or 10 bedrooms, and get 5, 6, 7 of y'all come down, stay in this house, and we lock ourselves up in this house for 5 days, and we build this thing together. You walk away with a complete business model at the 5 days. Walk away with a website, walk away with a YouTube channel, you walk away with e-commerce capabilities on the website where you can charge people credit cards for your services that you offer. You're gonna have a product of some type of service or course or ebook that you're gonna create. We're gonna walk you through the whole process, and you're gonna walk out of here 5 or 6 days later with a real business. You're gonna walk out of here with 20 videos already done. So that way you don't have to try and figure this out. We're gonna do on site. We're gonna make videos. I'm gonna show you how to do it. And you're gonna do them there, and you're gonna upload some of them videos. Then you're gonna upload the rest as when you get back home and just start doing it. We're gonna give you some ideas on the types of content you can create. It's easy once you start. The biggest fear most people have is just making that first video. But you make the first video and you keep going. But that's a real business model. You need to start it now. If you know that in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years from now, you want a business model that you can rely on. The worst thing you can do is come here and start it. Come here with something that's already working. If your business is already making you $2,000 a month, you know what I mean? I'd be like talking to somebody. I've consulted with some folks. They like, Cardell, my business is making me $2,500 a month. I'm making $2,500 already, and I want to quit my job because it's stressful. And if I can put more time into my business, I can do more and grow it faster. These expenses is killing me that I'm paying over here, and it's like, all right, you make it $2,500. Profit. That's what they talking about. $2,500 profit they take on, they put in their pocket after expenses, and have to reinvest some of the money back in the business. Well, then, yeah, come on down. Find you a spot where, again, make sacrifice, do better than me. Find you a spot for $400 a month, $500 a month, and stay within your budget, stay within the plan, and work it. And come back here and put all your time into the business. Now you can afford it because the expenses ain't as high like you would be paying in the States. You have a little bit of wiggle room and a few more dollars extra to drop into the business. And if your goal is just to come down here and work and grow the business, then come down here and grow the business. Put all that extra time, instead of putting in the 40 hours with the man at the job, you put them 40 hours into your own business that's already producing. But don't come down here talking about, I want to start a business, and you don't got no income coming in, because it's going to take a couple of years for that business to get going. Even with what I know, it still takes a couple of years. Now I can move along faster, but it's still going to take some time. When starting a new business, there's some nuances you just can't predict or don't know about until you start. You know what I mean? When I look at the amount of money that I just blew, and I'm supposed to be sticking to the doggone plan, you know what I'm saying? But I got caught up in the new shiny object syndrome. Want the fancy house, want to spend this extra money on these rental cars. Cheaper for me just to go buy a car for $4,000-$5,000 and be done. But they work out the way they need to work out. We adapt, we adjust, etc. Let me turn this thing around. I know y'all tired of looking at my mug. So we're entering back into Merida. As you can see, ain't been driving that long. Once we got past that little bridge where they were doing that construction. I think we just been driving for 20 minutes now. Since then, I think it might have been less, like 15 minutes. But we're essentially back in Merida in 1 kilometer. See what I'm saying? And all of this, none of this is going to be recognizable in 5-10 years. All this stuff is going to be developed. It's about to get crazy out here. Let me roll out this way. Let me let y'all. They're telling me to turn this way. I think it is. Yep. None of this is going to be the same in a few years. Let you ride along and see what we coming across. I'm swinging by another mall. It's taking me a different way. So you get to see a different area. I think this is the area where they just built the new Wendy's. The first Wendy's in Merida. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But all this is beautiful. This is growth. This is all this. You ain't gonna recognize none of this in 5 years. Let's see where, yeah, I hadn't been over here. Merida is a big, small town. That's the best way to describe it. It's not so small and it ain't so big. Kind of right in between. Look at that. They got rental signs up there for commercial space because folks gonna be building up in this bad boy. Look at that. All that construction. All that. We're in an area called Tamason. I think this is the northern part of the city. All this stuff is fairly new. This stuff didn't exist before. All this land for sale. All this on the right hand side, all that gonna be developed. See all them signs, cause it's coming. Folks like, man, I'm gonna get my stuff. So it's kind of out here, but you kind of be out here by yourself for now. But that won't last long. All that construction. Let me get over 1, 2, 3. Tell me what you think about this. Tamason Norte. Or it might just be Tamason. All this. Can you handle it? assuming that's a veterinarian. Might make a video and come back out here. All of this will be developed. Won't recognize none of this in 5 years. This is how fast it's growing out here. And growth is a good thing. Depends on which side of that coin you on. So the houses on the left, providers on the left, neighborhoods on the left. Do 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 do. A lot more green out here, of course. You got the La Tienda, you got somebody selling some fruits, some drinks. Somebody selling some chicken. Look at that new development. A little park. This is close to Cholula and Chablicao. Kind of out here to itself a little bit, like country lifestyle, country living. About what I like in the house right there, that white with your one level. That's that apartment for sale at the sea, San Cristano. Boom. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about. Book a consultation, Cortez. Visit the website, moveabroadandthrive.com, and let's help you figure that thing out, man. Looking for property, looking for a house to buy, can help you out with that. Like I say, you got some options. You got options, yo. Check out CortezRoss.com. We're looking at starting a business online. Not the cheapest thing in the world when it comes to working with me on business stuff, but you will make money. No doubt. You will make money. Got quite a few folks here that we've already started working with and helped out, and they are making money. They got a business online, fully functional business that's earning recurring revenue, et cetera, et cetera. So reach out to me, CortezRoss.com, www.CortezRoss.com, or for Move Abroad and moving and living abroad, visit the website, www.moveabroadandthrive.com.